What up? What up? What's sibbity? What's happening? Welcome to another edition of the Wrap Up, aka Kicking It with the Cousins. Cousin Tony on the mic, and joining me as always is my mailman, your mailman, the dirty little secret mailman. I'm talking about Oz, the people's mailman. Oz, what's going on, brother?
What's up? What's up? Everybody has a dirty little secret. Unfortunately, Tony's, his card collection is perfect. So he has no dirty little secrets, From day one, what it was, he came in, I made all the mistakes. So he kind of like piggybacked. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna buy that. I'm not gonna do this. And obviously his Skeletor is his dirty little secret, which I kind of weak, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I just told you before we got on the air. I was like, I'm going through my case of cards here. I'm like, I don't have anything really.
You're
Like,
like,
I have
yeah.
some.
Let
I
me
have
see. Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, well, that's not, you know,
Honus Wagner. Yeah, that's not anything.
yeah,
52 man. I'm good. I'm good.
right. I have some mistakes in there, but
Well, well,
yeah,
that's your dirty little secret.
yeah, but there were like mistakes where like I bought like a sticker auto, like stuff like that, I guess. I don't know. Hey,
Ooh,
listen, we'll go through
yeah.
the whole case and then we'll just I go one by one at some point, and you can tell me which ones are the
The dirty
qualify
little
as
secrets.
a dirty little secrets. So before we get to cracking here, let's get to some of these comments. Papa Jim wins the race today. Beat he beat Mr. James to the comments. We'll see if James shows up at some point.
Yep.
Commish is in here. He says, "Damn it!" He goes, "He thought he'd be first tonight." But Papa Jim says now it's a three-way race to get that first comment.
Yep.
Ripping and flipping cards is here. He said he's never caught the intro. Cool intro. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
pretty fun.
Ripping and flipping in the house.
Yes, sir. So let's get to recapping this week after months and hours and all kinds of planning to get the three of us all together at the same time. The faction finally made its return to the airwaves, and dude, it's always fun sitting and chopping it up with Shane, man. And even the commissioner said, "He's like, oh, it's nice to hear you guys, the three of you together." I'm like, "Yeah," I said, it's always fun. It's just always like, but I'm always like walking that tightrope to see when at what point you and him are gonna start going at it, and then the things just go completely
Yeah, I
sideways.
can't even mention anything before you're like, I'm like, yo, calm down. It's like you got me now, by on a leash now. I can't even say anything. It's like, but I was just commenting because like he was really going ham on like the Lakers and the
Yeah.
Dodgers, and he was oh man, he was flexing his muscles on all those LA teams. I was just saying.
Yeah, there was a little dig in there in the one episode with Embiid. I forget exactly what he said, but I was like, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah,
It's all
so I
good. Yeah,
just had to call it out just a little bit.
it's all good.
You
It's
know what I
all
mean?
good.
Like these professional fans, they think they're on Mount Fandom, that they go right alongside Mount Hobby, and they got their noses up in the air. You got your Boston Celtics fans, you got your LA Lakers, of course, your New York fans. They act like the Knicks have won like 62 championships. The
It's all good,
Giants.
though. Yeah, but like I said, I think sometimes we bring some of that on on
Oh,
ourselves. Oh,
speaking of,
speaking of, yeah. Speaking of a New York fan, there's sports card therapist says, "What's up, mi primos? Thanks for Rob. Rob was gonna ready to step up to the plate tonight. We'll pull the curtain just a little bit. You got yeah, Papa Oz is almost becoming a thing. It's right.
almost a thing. I got the text. Actually, it was let me see. This was late last night, where my daughter had gone to the hospital just to get a checkup. She wasn't feeling too well. Like she was seeing spots. So they went in, they checked her blood pressure very high. They're like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here. And more than likely, we're going to have to induce her. So she spent the night. So then I meant, okay, all hands on deck. We got to figure out what's happening. My wife immediately went into mom mode. And obviously, we got plenty of things coming up. We had a couple vacations. So my vacation days are kind of like,
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, as soon as you know that it's going to happen, I'll be there, but I'm not going to just sit around for 2 days
Like,
in a small, just waiting around.
yeah.
And she's probably not going to want me in the room anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'll be the first one to kicked out anyway. So
Yeah,
it's like,
like
what are
that.
you even here for?
Could you not be here while I'm pushing? And
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay. So I
yeah.
would say, listen, you go down there, and the thing is, it's not around the corner. Since they live towards Philly, It's probably like 45 minutes away from here.
Gotcha.
So I was at work and just waiting all day. So it was kind of touch and go for a moment where we thought she was gonna, you know, get everything going as far as,
Mhm.
the labor and stuff, but they're still waiting. But they started the meds, I believe, a few minutes ago, and probably by tomorrow morning should be Papa Oz in the house.
All right, we'll see.
God willing,
Hopefully,
everything
yeah,
going.
yeah. Hopefully, everything goes well. And look at that, right on cue. I mean, Dr. Debbie's in the house, so
Oh,
if you have
Dr.
any
Debbie.
questions, Debbie's here, and Blaine Thornton as well. He says Manny and
Indeed.
his Cowboys earlier,
Oh,
but yeah. So let's get into it real quick. The PSA. We talked about the PSA upcharge, and we've talked about this before. But you're a fan. Like it's weird. It's like you say, like, you're not really a fan of it, but when it does happen, you can understand why.
yeah.
But shout out to Shane though, because he had we did the faction, but then he did his regular episode, and his guest talked about he sees it as it was pretty good, pretty good conversation. He sees it as a tax on. He called it a tax on the hobby, and and he went into explaining why. And that's my one thing with PSA, man. I'm not a fan of the upcharge. I always believe that the card is the card, and has I'm paying them to grade it, not to tell me what it does on the secondary market.
Yeah.
But you see it a little bit different, I guess you could say.
I wonder, has that always been the case, or was that something that they added in after they saw, what their cards were doing in the secondary market, and be like, we need a cut of this because these guys we're grading these cards. We're obviously number
Mhm.
one now in the grading market, and people are making a killing. They're taking a $10 raw card and flipping it for $500 once they get a gem in 10, or depending on the card. So I'm wondering if that was the case, if anybody in the comments knows if from day one PSA was doing the upcharge, or was that just something later on they're like, maybe we can make some money off of this.
Yeah, I know. It's like a little street tax, as they
Yeah.
say. Yeah, I don't know. We have to search back, or if somebody drops a comment in here, or a DM or whatever. But not sure. But again, not a fan of it. To me, whether it's a 52 mantle or a 2023 Jalen Hurts, they should be graded the same. Because they don't do anything. They don't do anything different for the grading process. They just look at it, do their thing, and then ship it off. There's
Yeah,
nothing
but
that.
don't front. When we had that 86 Fleer Jordan, if we would have
Oh
came
yeah,
back
we
with the
wanted
gem
that.
mint 10, we would have
Yeah.
been like, oh,
Oh
let's
yeah,
get
for
it.
sure.
We would have made it rain for that PSA upcharge.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But because especially with that, it would have been a hell of a come up. But
Yeah. So,
um,
like I said, it's all,
it's,
for us, we can sit here and we could say, yeah, that's BS, a PSA upcharge. But then,
yeah,
like I said, for example, we put in that card was 6 Gs. So if it would have
yeah,
came back at 10, it would have been anywhere from 150 to $200,000 at that time. Like that's a hell of
yeah,
a come up just because of that PSA label. So,
yeah.
you know,
And you know damn well we would have to sell it like right away. There was
oh
no way
yeah,
I would have held that.
no, 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 no.
Like,
That would have been immediate.
yeah, yeah,
Let's go.
immediately gone. Real quick, Rob says, cheers to the big news. Debbie says, so exciting. Papa Jim says, thoughts and prayers, and Dr.
Thank you,
Staff,
thank you.
help all goes well. Papa Oz. Blaine says that on-site grading fee at the Natty is a tax too. Hey, if you want it done right, and I mean, if you want it done right away, you're gonna have to,
Yeah, they're gonna kill you.
yeah, yeah. Kamish says, yeah, you would have had to, sell it. They don't give you a choice. Well, yeah, that's true. You have to pay it basically. I mean, they ask you, like, yeah, we want your permission to pay for this. If you say no, then they just send you your card back.
Yeah. Oh, we'll
So
just take this pretty little label off of it, and you just have it go with
here's your card, right?
SGC, or
Yeah, it is.
see how
Yeah,
far you get with somebody else.
and you know damn well the commission's sitting there chomping at the bit, ready to chop down at that
And who's to
victory.
say you don't pay that the grader makes a little crinkle in the corner. There goes that 10.
Whoopsie. So I don't know. So then you got into your dirty little secret. You
Ooh,
mine was boring. It was a Skeletor toy, but I mean that was that's all I got, man. I said I don't have anything.
I know. You got that
Anything.
perfect collection, so there's
Yeah,
nothing really. And it was the Bernie Sanders, the 2021 election,
yeah,
the classic pose, Bernie with the mask, Bernie with the mitts, with the. What gets it's the legs being crossed.
yeah.
And he's just isolated because of COVID. He's just
In the
sitting there,
black socks.
black socks, freezing his ass off,
Yeah,
at the inauguration, and it's just
yeah,
classic. It just reminds me. It takes you right back to one, to that crazy ass election, two,
yeah,
to COVID, wearing masks, and the.
yeah,
I mean, dude, think about how crazy shit was for about a
yeah,
year and a half, 2 years. It's insane, and all of that really kind of brought this about with the
yeah,
hobby, taking it to another level.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because while we're all sitting here at home not doing nothing, and everybody starts digging in their closets or attics or whatever, and then here we are. The floor has, I mean, the floor is higher
Yeah,
for most cards, so that's
yeah.
nice. You know. Let me get back. So Ripping and Flipping says he personally likes the look of SGC much better, but that goofy red sells higher. Plain
Agreed.
says, yeah, CGC drop show prices at $20 a card. Well,
Okay.
I mean, those little guys, they have to figure out, ways to try to cut into that, into the, I mean, dude, they got PSA has that big ass market share, man. So
Yeah,
these guys gotta,
that's tough. Once you get that, and kind of across the board, the people that are quote unquote influencers, or people that create the narratives, once they say, okay, bang, Mount Hobby, PSA is number one. That's what we're going to look for as far as the highest we're going to pay for a collectible, and that just becomes law, and everybody else falls into place. It would literally have to take everybody, all the commoners like ourselves, to say, you know what, stop giving them our business, and
right,
just say, okay, we're moving to SGC. We're going back
yeah,
to BGS, or whatever, going with tag.
yeah, no,
Which to
because
me, if it were up to me, that would be my move. Because if we were to go with tag and the AI, I know that would be more consistent grading across
yeah,
the board. So a 10 would be a 10, a 6 would be a 6, and a 9 would be a 9. You would know exactly what it was, and there wouldn't be no him and hawing, or eye appeal, or this, that, and the third when it comes to the whole overall grading process. And so if it were to go any way away from PSA, I would really want it to be something like tag grading.
yeah. I'm interested to see if PSA and the PSA Beckett's, the top 2 or 3 guys, if they start implementing AI, if they
Yeah.
start seeing, and then at that point, now it's game on.
Yeah, then no, it's game
So,
over.
yeah, well, yeah, 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 probably, yeah,
You
game over, because
rip
they're like, all right, we got
rip
you. Boop.
tag, rip you see, like, if
Right.
if they get it to where now it's, you got not only the most recognized, grading company in the hobby, now you have actual AI doing the grading, as opposed to, somebody that's been grading all day over 1,000 cards, and by,
Mhm.
there could be agendas. Who knows? Like, sometimes it looks like they're giving out PSA 10s like water, and then other times it looks like population control. And of course, it could be all conspiracy theories. Who knows? But you don't know, and
Yeah,
that's why with the AI technology, it kind of, if it's done properly and done the right way, it gets rid of all that uncertainty, and a
yeah,
real legit grade on these cards.
yeah. I wonder if they were to implement AI, if that would diminish a 10 that was graded by a human, as opposed to one that's graded by a machine. So then, are there then levels of, now we have, like you said, like not all like nines are created equal, like say for vintage. And then, so say a 9 that was graded by a human compared to a 9 graded by
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
Yeah, that opens up a can of worms. It's
yeah,
like, eesh, Pandora's box.
yeah,
But that would have to be over time, and where everybody would have to be on board and just say, close my eyes, rip the
mhm,
Band-Aid off. Okay, from this point forward, we're strictly, anything that happened previous, that is what it is. But from now, going forward, tag, or another AI company, or if PSA decides to do it, this is what we're going to look at, and if you want to get a legit grade, you just, obviously, if you have a PSA 10, you're not going to want to crack it out to see what it would be with an
right, right,
AI. But if you have something else like a 9, or a 9 that you thought was a 10, or
mhm,
a 6 that supposedly was a 9, let me recrack it and get my Kurt's card care out and do my little thing, flatten out some corners, and make that scratch disappear, and see what it does with the AI.
yeah. So we'll see. To keep an eye on that whole landscape. And the last, one of the last things we talked about too was the eBay authentication.
Hmm.
And I like it. We're all kind of in favor of it. And now, I mean, Shane was talking about, even they're doing like checking damage, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's all good. But you, sir, have a story about eBay authentication and a bit of a boo boo that you
Yeah,
went through.
yeah.
So
So
the
again, it's
floor
all
is
about
yours.
sports card lessons, and
Yeah.
Tony sitting back in the wings and watch me screw up. But I had posted a card a little bit ago, and that was the. Let me go ahead and get it out here real quick. That way you can see what it is, and that
Yeah.
is the 1998 Hoops Bams Allen Iverson. Um, so that's this puppy right here. I
Right.
mean, this it doesn't do it justice when you have this puppy in hand, the way it shines.
Right.
Now, this is the BAMS version. So the BAMS is actually it's not a base card. It's out of 250. It's serial numbered. But
Okay.
if when it comes to the BAMS, it is the base version, and there's what they call a slam BAMS,
Mm.
which is like out of 100. It's almost comparable, if not on par with a red PMG, or let's just say the BAMS is the red PMG,
Yeah.
the slam BAMS is the
The
green
green.
PMG.
I gotcha.
Okay, to find one of those puppies, it's difficult. I think the last one that I saw for Allen Iverson, when I wasn't even really paying attention, when I was in my Stranger Things phase and not even looking, I
Hmm.
seen one pop up, and it was just authentic, and it went crazy through the roof. It wasn't even graded; it was just authentic.
Mm.
Because I think it was trimmed. Who knows?
Okay.
But it was in a BGS, uh, you know, graded, and so it was authentic, and it went for a crazy amount. So few months ago, I was looking, and I seen slam bams, and I was like, and it was in 1998 hoops slam bams Allen Iverson on the actual PSA label. Like if you look at this one,
Yeah, okay, that's great. While you're explaining that, the commission's asking, do they have even more rare slam bams? Thank you, ma'ams. Parallel.
funny commish.
Yeah.
Stick to your
Okay.
hockey. Shut
So
your
that's,
mouth.
yeah, I see. So that's a hoop spams.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's hoops
Which one?
bams. So
Hmm.
now when you see a slam bams, it'll say
Gotcha. Yeah.
slam bams up
Okay.
there. So the card that I seen that was as a buy it now was a Slam Bams card, PSA label. And then at the time, I really hadn't done any homework on the BAMs or the Slam Bams. I just knew they were a very rare insert, 90s insert. So you talk about Slam Bams for Jordan,
Yep.
that's one of the most
Yeah.
sought after, cards in the hobby. So I was like, oh shit, I said Slam Bam. You know what I mean? So I was like, I just put an offer. And I lowballed them. It was one of those where you put in an offer, and then on a eBay, it'll tell you, why don't you try offering this? Because that's probably like the minimum they'll take. So I
Yeah.
did that. And probably like an hour later, he accepted, and I put it through. And I was like, happy as hell. It was, and the thing is, it was graded a PSA 5. So even then, the grade was 5. I was like, I didn't care. I saw an
Right.
authentic that
Right.
went for crazy. And this one, I was, to me, I was getting a great deal. So then something told me, wait a minute. Like probably the next day, I was like, dude, are you sure? Let's do a little bit of research here, because you kind of jumped into that like real
Yeah.
quick. So then I did some research, and I start Googling the differences between the BAMs and the Slam BAMs. The Slam BAMs is out of, like I said, out of 100.
Yeah.
This one, the actual one that was graded PSA 5 and said Slam BAMs on the labels, was out of 250. And that's exactly what a BAMS is. Then I was like, okay, what are the differences other than the serial numbers? So then the differences between the Slam BAMs is on the top here and on the bottom here, it actually says Slam.
Okay.
And it's like in a gold coating. So like a gold foil. So those are the two main differences. Other than that, the card's exactly the same, but on the front, on the top and the bottom, it says Slam. And then on the back, obviously serial number to
Right.
100. So then I was like, shit, PSA, screwed up. They graded this card, they put it, and the label was showing Slam Bams when it wasn't. So
Hmm.
I had purchased the card thinking it was a Slam Bam, but it was actually a Bam card. And in the description, the guy was all, hey, 1998 Slam Bams card, Slam Bam this, Slam Bam that. So, it's very misleading. And me not doing my due diligence, went ahead and purchased this card at a very high price. So then immediately, as soon as I had purchased it the day before, it automatically, since it's over that level, goes right to authentication.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is a PSA, graded card. They should catch the fact that it's not, oh, this is not a Slam Bams. This is
Right.
an actual Bams card. So it shouldn't pass authentication. But apparently they don't even look at that. All they're looking at to see is if the actual holder itself was in any way damaged or finagled with,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
as long as that's fine, a graded card. Now the other thing you were talking about was a raw card. So if there's like scratches and stuff, they're able to look at it and be like, do you really want to purchase it? But as far as a graded card, they're just looking to see if there's any counterfeit thing going on, not necessarily is the card
Okay.
matching what the label's saying.
Hmm.
So then I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's not going to pass authentication. Goes right through authentication with flying colors. Now I'm like, shit, okay.
You got fast tracked.
Yeah, it really like, oh, it's on your way. You're good to go. And I was like, no, 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 no. So then I call eBay and I'm like, listen, here's what happened. I paid for this and blah, blah, blah. Told them the whole story that I just told. They're like, yeah, since it went through authentication, there's not really anything we could do. Why don't you go ahead and contact the seller? I said, okay, sure. Contact the seller, crickets, nothing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the kicker. At the same time, this one that I have in my hand, a PSA 7 BAMS,
Right.
comes up in auction. So I already
Okay.
had purchased one card for a
Right.
crazy amount. And then an actual PSA 7, the card that I would want,
Hmm.
is coming up for auction. And I'm like, am I really going to go ahead and buy two of these cards and hope and pray somehow that I'm going to be able to get my money back on the other one?
Yeah.
And that is what Cousin Oz did. Basically putting, my whole funding to the national in these two cards. So I went ahead and I won I actually got this one for $200 less
Really?
than to buy
Wow.
it now. It was still an exorbitant amount, but it
Yeah.
was less than what I had paid. So then I had to figure out. I at that point I had given up. I had gone to the seller, gone to eBay. It went through authentication. Nobody's helping me out. I talked to you about it. You're like, yo, go through. Talk to PayPal. You paid PayPal. I was like, yeah. He's like, talk to them, see if they can do something. I was like, you know what, you're right. So I hit up PayPal and I told them everything that happened. They got back to me. They're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look into it. And they open up a case and they said, any evidence that you have, send it here. And I went and I Googled and I got every difference and taking screenshots, and it was like a whole dissertation on the differences between a BAMS and a slam BAMS and why I was robbed, and y'all better give me my money back or I'm
I
about to
love
go in there.
when you really dive into something, because usually you're like, I don't want to be bothered with it. But as soon as there's like a couple bucks on the line, you're like you go
Oh
freaking
yeah, yeah, yeah.
crazy.
If it's
Like
not worth my while, I'm not.
yeah, like you won't download the Uber app because oh no, that's just stupid. It's I'm like, oh, but bro, you just it's no. But then this, you have a whole like exhibit A through
Oh, bro, I
Z.
went. You want to talk about Inspector Gadget? I went crazy, and I got every particular piece of evidence as to why I should get my money back. So they took everything, and after about a week, they actually, you got to submit their evidence, and then it goes to the seller. The seller has to then come back and provide evidence as to why it was a legit sale and why they're not going to give the money back. And they favored, on my behalf. So the money will be put into my, actually probably by tomorrow, will be refunded back to me. So needless to say, do your homework, make sure, especially on a buy it now. But like I said, it was just one of those, one of those things where that card, you just don't see it. And again, the FOMO kicking in, like, oh snap, let me go ahead and make sure I get this card before somebody else does, get it off the market, and then realizing I made a mistake. And thank God was able to get an actual BAMS card, not the slam BAMS that I wanted, because then I'm looking, all right, I'm looking everywhere,
Right,
all platforms. I can't
like
find a slam BAMS to save my
right.
life.
Cause that's like when you like, when you would lose an auction, like back when it was like really hot and heavy, you lose and then you go look on another platform. Like
Yeah,
I need this card. I gotta go
yeah,
get it.
yeah, dude. I went everywhere. I didn't see it. So
Mhm.
those, and the thing is, the reason that they're so rare, not only is it because they're only out of 100 at that time, hoops just wasn't, what I mean, it was kind of like looked down upon. So
Mhm.
a lot of it was being open, but not, at the rate that, cards are being today. So there was no breakers and stuff like that. So a lot
Right.
of those cards, I don't even know the number. I'd have to look to see how many are actually graded,
Yeah.
but I can't even find a serial number to put it into the system to see. So I got to do a little homework on
I
that. But
got you.
it's a very rare card. So that's one of those. When you talk about one of my grails, getting one of those slam bams.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've the ones that have popped up here and there. I've seen that they are very expensive, and it's nice to see a hoops card do that because sometimes you see, oh, it's a lower end card, but those like we've talked about before, hoops has some really nice inserts. And by the way, Blaine says it looked like Oz cleaned up the cave a
No,
little bit.
the cave didn't get cleaned up. The cave got evacuated.
Yeah,
We had severe thunderstorms, flash flooding going on. What was that on Sunday?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. So last
yeah,
Sunday,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
Sunday. Yeah,
yeah, you got water in your basement. I got water in my basement. So I have my whole collection down here in my man cave. So I had to like quickly move into action. I got one piece that got some water on it, which is kind of disappointing. So, I mean, it's fine, but the bottom of it got waterlogged. So I'm probably going to
okay,
have to, it's not an expensive item, but
got
luckily I was here. If I was working, I would have been screwed. My entire toy collection would have probably been ruined,
it. Oof.
and that would have
Well,
not been good.
yeah. Well, lesson learned. Get those things elevated.
Yeah.
Um, so big news dropped today. Fanatics announced live events coming soon. Here we go. Get ready. And by the way, Kamish, if you want to jump in, feel free. Um, yeah, yeah. Debbie says the weather has not been kind to the Delaware Valley this season.
Not
No,
at
it's like
all.
it's good for my grass. It like rains and then the sun comes out. So it's like usually by this time it's all burnt and nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh yeah, you've had some water, and then at the last live you had to go because you had a busted fish tank. So
Oh, dude, I like it's crazy, man. I got it coming from outside. I got it coming from the goddamn drop ceiling. I'm like, yo, it's like, God's hell bent on making sure like, bro, you better get your collection right because
I
I'm
know
about
your
to
collection's
destroy
under
this.
it. Yeah, your collection's under attack. But yeah, so let's get back to Fanatics, man. It's
Yeah,
basically
discuss
I
this
guess
to me
it's
because I didn't really get the whole story because I was, trying to
yeah,
rush
yeah,
and
I
get
think
back because I didn't know what was going on with my daughter. But like I didn't hear the whole
yeah,
thing. So what exactly is this?
I would tell you. So basically it's Comic Con for cards is what it's kind of being you know,
Describe.
introduced as at first. But I mean you're talking about uh music, celebrities, athletes. I mean, you name it, they're gonna supposedly it's gonna be a whole thing. It says Fanatics will launch Fanatics Events, a business that will look to recreate the Comic Con experience for sports collectibles. The new venture aims to start holding events next year. Fanatics, which will own a majority stake in the business, is partnering with IMG. IMG being which is part of Endeavor, another
Mhm.
company. They do talent, all that stuff. So, the days of the dusty old card show may be behind us as far as Fanatics is concerned, I guess. Um Initial thoughts on that, man. I mean,
I
because
guess the
remember
real
we talked
question
about
is, will there be any cosplay going on?
that's yeah, I'm not sure.
Because
Because I
if there's
remember you
cosplay,
said
I'm all about it, bro.
Wild Card X says, speaking of cleaning up the man cave, the framed uncut sheet is finally centered behind. Oh yeah, I know. You know why? Because like the one that had there was something here to my on the side of me and I couldn't. So yeah,
That's
thank you for
great. That's
noticing that.
funny.
Because yeah, I'm a big stickler for that too, and it would bother me too. So
I try
thank
to
you for
stay in between my Eagles and my Kobe.
yeah, there you go. So no, yeah, so yeah, well, I mean, you could start the cosplay. You could be I don't know, whatever it is you want to do, but
I don't know. I mean,
I mean,
it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of iffy with sports players because you know what I mean. That can get a little.
yeah, I know where you're
Yeah, I don't
going.
even want to get into it, but
I know where you're going, so let's just leave that go.
yeah.
But uh no, but so initial reaction to this as far as uh what you think it might look like,
I
things you'd
think,
like to
bro, I
see.
think this is something I've been talking about for a while. Like we got a little taste of it where it wasn't even like they were together. We had the side by side where we had the RetroCon on one side, and then we had was it the Philly show on
Mhm.
the other side. Um, so you
Flippin'
know,
and Flippin' says cousin Oz is the perfect Ozzie Smith. Yeah, you do got that little Ozzie Smith going on there, bro. So
but you know what I mean. That was just like a little taste, a little action. You had your toys, comics, and everything. The cosplay on one side, and then like right next door, you had the cards. So in my mind is like, bro, why can't we have it all? Like
Mhm.
why can't we do this? And they're not necessarily saying, combining cards and comics, but they just want to make it almost to where, you go to a Comic Con. I haven't even been to one, but from
Right.
what I see, I mean, that's a happening. You go
Right.
in there, you have celebrities, like you said, sports people, people that write books, and you just go in there, and it's just like a big to do, and everything's popping. Like the thing that when I went down to go see Millie Bobby Brown, that
Right.
thing was crazy, and that wasn't even like that. So, like you said, to take cards and get it out of that old dusty, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? That to
No.
each his own. Like, if we go back to Corky loves going into
Yeah.
the card shop and just chatting it up with the owner for like
Mhm.
5 hours, just chilling and getting maybe some heritage cards and then leaving, and that's cool. But if you want to bring the next generation and keep people that are in here excited, like, why not, man?
You
Why
need
not take it next level?
yeah, you need that the ADHD generation where you
Yeah.
need like a lot going on at one
Yeah,
time
you
so
may
they could
have some video games over
yeah,
here, have some celebrities over here,
yeah,
whatever, basketball tournament over here. It's almost like, these guys down south, they kinda started it a little bit
yeah.
with Culture Collision,
Mhm.
where they had, they have a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah.
So, maybe
Yeah.
they're taking cues from there.
Perhaps. So let's bring somebody in who has a lot to say on this whole thing.
Oh boy,
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
Mr. Commish.
Mr.
The
Grumpy.
commish is in commish is in the
Mr.
building.
Grumpy.
Commish is here. Um,
Hey, guy,
welcome.
What's up,
Welcome.
missed
buddy?
you.
First of all, God bless to the family, Oz.
Oh,
Hope
thank you, sir.
everything goes
Appreciate
well.
that, man. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Um,
That's awesome.
Exciting news.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Before we get to the commish, Blaine says, with this, it's gonna be, he's thinking like schedules of shows in every big city throughout the year, like a tour. He
Ooh.
goes, makes everyone have a chance to, have a chance to get to big shows without having to travel so far. Well, there might be a certain show that's held once a year that might not like where this is all going. So, without further ado, to provide the counterpoint to all this stuff is
Oh,
the
so
It was
commish.
so
it
I was
wasn't a
right.
counterpoint, really. You sent the article to us in
Yeah,
the text, and I was like, Jesus, is there anything the Fanatics is not going after? You
yeah,
know, in the hobby industry, because and to be quite honest, is there anything they're not going after that they haven't started everything else yet? Like, they're like what I say to you today, that they're like a kid in the hobby on eating all those maximum pixie sticks, drinking Jolt Cola. They're just ADHD going
yeah.
everywhere. Like, we want that, we want to do that, we want to do that, we want to do that. We're gonna, and they're just
Right.
like, but they haven't started anything just yet, really, right? Because
No.
I mean, they launched live, right?
Yeah.
But that's still technically what, beta version, maybe. I don't know. You can't
Yeah,
sign up
because I
for it.
yeah, I
You
know.
tried.
I tried to download it last week just to see because it was like they
It
had the
allows you to share it, right? Like,
no,
get
it
a couple
didn't.
friends to but,
No,
what didn't it say, like, have some friends join?
it said that option was coming soon. So you download the
Okay.
app, you sign up, whatever, and then you get to the one part, and it said click here, and then you're supposed to get a login code at some point. I never got a code unless it went to my spam, and then it's gonna have the option for you to share to your friends. So they want everybody using this thing. I guess we'll see what it is, but I think Mama Breaks did something on there, but
Yeah, at the All
not
Star
not a
game, right?
hundred. Yeah, not 100% sure. Yeah, but it wasn't working because I wanted to check it out so we could talk about it, but
Yeah.
try again. Ripping and flipping cars says the hobby needs more experience. How cool would it be if more experiences? How cool would it be if an LCS had a minor leaguer signing autos, or new on unknown MLB talent on the kids' night? Papa Jim says hello to the commish, and Ripping and
Papa
flipping
Jim.
cars says, imagine if you had walking space, food, and drinks at a car show. So I was gonna ask the guys. I was like, what is one thing you would add to the live event? And that is a big one for me, is the food stuff, because chicken fingers and fries, that's not it, dude. Like it's just
Listen, it could be a part of it, but there definitely needs to be an upgrade to
a
it.
nice little upgrade where a nice little lounge chill, like a
Mhm.
real, but I get that it's for kid, like a lot of kids are there and stuff like that, but there are parents who just go and drop their kids, like the kids just run wild and the parents are just standing around, walking around, just standing there. So mom can go and have some wine and cheese or something. And then she might be more apt to buy Junior some cards after she has a couple glasses of the vino. So
Well, I remember a lot of people were getting on Jeff Sports Card Investor when he was talking about, maybe upgrading and getting away from the dusty old
mhm.
hobby shop. What's up? Fly, Eagles fly, baby. Rux cards in the house. But yeah, he was talking about, bringing it to the 21st century and doing things like that, and, making it more a destination that, once you get there, there's things to distract the parents and, and have you
Mhm.
staying in that area. And basically, the longer you stay, the more you're going to trade, you're going to buy, you're going to sell.
Right.
So it's almost like he was talking about it being a casino type
Yeah.
thing. So this is almost, gearing it towards that, where, a bunch of bells and whistles that's going to keep everybody entertained. And I don't see a problem with it, man. I really don't.
Yeah, I think their timing was calculated, wasn't it? A
Yeah.
week before the national comes, they drop that news. That
Yeah.
was definitely
Like, to me,
calculated.
yeah, you look at it like last national, the cars were cool and doing all that, but like that whole thing with Stranger Things took it over the top for me. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that, me being a fan of that, like I was mesmerized by this stupid little vending machine and trying to get,
It's
a
like,
redemption card.
Yes.
Literally waiting in line. Like my last national was all about waiting in lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With
yeah.
Stranger.
Oh, he paused. Oz
Yeah,
is
he paused.
Oz is making an appearance in this line from 1 to 3 at
Signing
the
autographs.
Stranger Things vending machine from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
he's
See what I'm saying? Like Debbie's right on. She's a little Starbucks style coffee cart, some few beer wine selections.
See that?
Yeah.
She's
you
just
got a
been
big enough
promoted.
backpack and change up that Zion case. You could have your own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Debbie's just been promoted to, to making sure the
Director
food
of,
industry's going, I like right along with the commish
right.
being in charge of tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Director of
part of
special.
Aramark.
yeah. No, but I think that's it's funny, just like the little things, man. Papa Jim says Dallas Show has a restaurant inside the hotel and a couple food trucks outside. Those are things that I mean, for the national, it's a bit of a chore, but like when you have these shows like that, or what are things that can make me stand out? And food's a big freaking deal, man. Like I said, not everybody. The chicken fingers and hot dogs at 10, 12, $13 for a hot dog, nah, man. So
Food
I don't know,
trucks are all the
maybe
rage.
yeah, and of course, then you got people like Blaine who right away is gonna want to have a beer chugging contest where you can win slabs. So it's like it's a fine balance. So,
There you go. There you
Somebody
go.
spilling beer and wine all over card cases. You're like,
yeah, because that's gonna
You have
happen.
all the old fogies. This is what I'm talking about. These sons of bitches
Yeah, so it's like
ruining my hobby.
you gotta find that perfect balance.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, Kamish, like you said, you broke it down today in the chat, where with Fanatics, there's the breaking,
Yeah, they went
all
after
these-
breaking. They went after an auction house, basically, right? So they got PWCC, and what I say, I put on my my Splenda aluminum tinfoil hat, and I was like, PWCC's tied in with SGC, right? With their vaulting.
right.
So next thing you know, what's next? Fanatics does not have a grading company yet, so
Right.
maybe they, what I say, FGS, Fanatics Grading Services, look at coming on your radar.
Yeah.
Fugazi.
Not the Fugazi grading services.
Right.
This is Fanatics grading services. They don't have that yet. They don't have accessories yet. So look out. Maybe Ultra, BCW, coming after those things, buying companies like that. So getting
Slap
some
strong.
accessories, buying some of the little companies or knocking them off.
Yeah. That's like perfect timing. The wife and I just started watching Succession on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And it's like that, like they buy, and it's a whole thing. And we only watched the first episode, but the first episode was where the guy was trying to. So I was thinking like, wow, that's perfect timing. Ripping and Flipping Cars says, would you rather be at a cavalcade of custom indoor car show with all the various entertainment versus your local high school gym standing on top of everyone with no chairs? Yeah. I think that's
give me the cavalcade. I like that word. That's a great word.
Yeah, it's funny. And Blaine asked if Arena Club fade off in the sunset. I'm not sure. I actually just had I was talking to Rob the other day, and then that's still a thing. I mean, I'm not. He said he saw some slabs up at at Bleecker when he was there.
Hmm.
I'm just not sure. I haven't heard much about Arena Club, to be honest. So not sure what's going on there. But as long as Derek Jeter's involved with it, I don't, that guy's pretty successful in the
He's
things
all
he
right.
does. So,
A little
yeah.
overrated, but yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
he gets the dubs. So switching up though, Oz for some reason is buying NFTs. Talk
What?
about making mistakes.
Dun
What?
dun dun.
What?
I don't know what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Move it on. No, no. My man Ziggy hit me up last week. He's like, "Yo, Oz, I know you're into Stranger Things. I know
The
you're into
commission's back like, oh, I gotta hear this stupid
what's
shit.
this about? I gotta hear
This
this."
one. I'm like, I gotta hear this. So go ahead.
Yeah. So Ziggy, he slides into the DMs. He slides into the cousin's DMs, and he was like, "Yo, you're into Funkos. You're obviously into Stranger Things." He's like, they're dropping an NFT, which I know you're not really too familiar with or do. What he goes, I actually do that. He's like, but the cool thing is with this NFT, if you get the drop, it gives you an opportunity to get these very rare Funkos, along with it. So you can actually buy a couple packs and then you can get a redemption and give you access to these Funkos that won't necessarily be available until about a year from now. And then on the secondary market, they'll go for a crazy price, 500, $600. They're based upon they're the Stranger Things with like Michael, Lucas, the boys, Dustin and Will, and it's all what is Dungeons and Dragons style. So if you're familiar with the show in Stranger Things 4, where Will draws them as all soldiers in the Dungeons and Dragons with the big dragon there, three-headed dragon, and all of them are dressed up, like medieval style. So those will be the actual Funkos that'll be coming out, and they have a chase, which is the three-headed dragon. So I thought it was pretty cool. I like the Funkos. My daughter, I collected for her, and the packs were like, you can get two different types. They have a standard and a premium. The premium was like $29 a pack, and then so I got two premium packs. Haven't opened them up yet, but you can go on. You can open them up like you're opening up a regular pack of cards, but it's digital. So what's that?
To my mouse. I'm like, you're opening your
Oh,
pack.
okay.
Opening your pack.
I thought that was a. So
So
yeah, I
all
mean, it's
you're
something
after
different.
is that you're
Yeah,
hoping that
Just after the Funkos.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
after the Funkos. I'm not getting into NFTs or anything like that. But it's pretty cool as far as like the whole presentation. I actually hopped on with him and Courtney from Reckless Cards. We were doing a little episode. What was that, Tony? Was that yesterday?
I forget. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Wednesday. I can't even remember what happens
Yeah.
anymore. But
I know.
but it was either yesterday or Tuesday. We hopped on with each other on a Ziggy's thing, and he basically broke it all down. Like he has a huge NFT collection. Like he's like crazy into it. So pretty cool. I guess if you're into that stuff. But like we always talk about getting the physical representation of things. So I'm not all about the NFTs, and I think it's kind of died down after the initial wave. But if I were able to go ahead and get the access to those rare Funkos, I'd be cool with it.
Okay. Why not just buy the Funkos once they hit the market?
That's the thing. They're going to be, because the people that actually get them, because there's only like 1,000 of the, like you think about all the Stranger Things fans that are out
Right.
there. So there's going to be like 3,600. Yeah, there's a lot. There's millions. And then, and then like the Funkos are the easiest thing to collect when it comes to those. So those will go on the secondary market for an exorbitant amount, where I could get it for, if I paid $60 for two, packs. What does he have to say? Tony making
Instead of
too much
making too much sense. It's like all I'm hearing, bro, is that you bought lottery tickets.
Yeah. You know what I'm hearing? You and Rob can go kick rocks.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm like, why not just buy it when they
No, but like I just told you, I can wait that. First of all, it's going to take a full year until that gets into the secondary market. And the other thing is, once it does get into the secondary market, I'm going to have to pay an arm and a leg for a Funko that I could, that if I paid $60 right now and were to get one or a couple,
right.
Later on down the road, it'll be at least minimum 150, 250, and if it was the chase, which is the actual three-headed dragon, that thing's going to be like $500-$600. So if I could get it for cheaper, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, I hear that, but I mean, I'm just hearing lottery ticket. But so like when you open these packs and if you don't get anything, you're gonna buy more.
Mm-mm. It was just to do it. It's just an experience.
I'm just you know
Yeah.
figuring
I'm
out.
not trying to, collect and NFTs and go down that rabbit hole. It was just something. What does Kamish think?
Commission's
I know what
waiting.
Kamish thinks.
No. I think hey, if you get a shot at it, like you're paying $30 for each one or each pack, you get a shot at it. Go for it. Because I
It's like
was
a
thinking the
break.
same
Like a
thing
break.
earlier. Just go after it when it hits the eBay because they are going to hit eBay,
Yeah.
no matter how many they are. But
Look
go
at it.
for
Look
it.
at it as
If it's
if
under
you're
100
buying it.
bucks, go
Yeah,
get
if
it.
you're buying into a break of national treasures, if you wait onto the secondary market and you were in, like, say, an Allen Iverson, auto, on card auto with a dope ass patch. If I were to wait till it hits the secondary market, that's going to be a $2,500 to $10,000 card, depending. And if I could buy into a break for $150 and get it, if that's
Gotcha.
what I wanted to do, I would rather go the route of the 150 than try to, sell my whole collection to get that one card.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Godspeed. I hope you get something.
Yeah.
Get the dragon.
It was just one
Yeah.
of those things. Let me
Chasing the
see what this
dragon.
is all about.
That's cool.
Ziggy he piqued my interest. I was like, okay, show
Okay.
me what this is all about, sir.
Fair enough. They would hit a rewind here. Debbie said they announced today that Derek Jeter will be at the National.
I guess I won't be going to the National.
El Capitan. Look at that. Oz and Derek Jeter. Whoo, two 90s legends.
Yes. Now I'm mad I'm not
We
going.
both gave away gift packages to our ladies.
Here's one for you.
So,
One for you.
Yeah, one for you.
there you go.
Here's a bag of goodies for you.
There you go. So let's get into some card of the week stuff. And mine is actually a ties into your mistaken identity card, because I got this 1966 and it's labeled as Venezuela Tops, and I love this card because of the three gentlemen on this card, NL batting leaders. So I saw this on eBay. This has been a few months now, and like I told you before, I wanted some of the Clemente Venezuelan tops. They're a lot more rare than the regular tops cards. So I saw this and it said same thing, 1966 Venezuela. I'm like, wow, that's cool, and the coloring looked good. The thing with the real Venezuelan tops, and I'll show you once. You'll see once I show you this card. They tend to be yellowish and they look very grainy because the climate and stuff like that. The cards they don't hold up as well, or whatever it is. But so this is Bob Clemente, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays.
Ooh.
And like I said, it's labeled as 1966 Venezuelan tops, but it's not. It's
not.
just the regular that you
See,
can see on the label. So Oz, it does. That's what when you were talking about, I said I have the perfect card of the week to tie in because it doesn't.
see, I'm not crazy.
No. I mean, you don't do your
No,
due
the thing
diligence.
is, sometimes, as great as PSA is, according to Tony, they do make mistakes. So we have to learn, that, and that's one thing. We always talk about buy the card, not the label.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's tough, especially with a card like that or a 90s insert where the details is just like some intricate detail that if you're not on
Mhm.
top of it and you really haven't done your homework on it, you could easily just think, oh yeah, that's the card. So you
Yeah.
really have to be careful once you start getting into because not once you see it in a PSA slab, you're like, oh, that's legit.
Yeah.
It's right there on the label. It's legit.
Yep.
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, and I bought this. Like, if you look, so the centering is not great, and the only reason I bought it at the time was because of the way it was labeled, and I was like,
Yep.
"Oh, I'm gonna get this card," and because look, like the centering, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have bought this,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah, it is off centered for
you
your
see that
taste.
it's off centered. But the only reason I bought it is because it's a I thought at the time it was a Venezuelan, and like the centering, I don't really care too much about because it's just about getting the Venezuelan version.
Yeah.
But yeah, no bueno. But I was gonna
Oh,
try to
wow.
get rid of it, but I keep it as a reminder of pay attention and don't get caught up. It was basically like the same thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
But I
So
love it. It looks great, but it's
it's
mislabeled.
not what it is.
No, so I mean, I guess I could probably crack it out and send it in and get the right label or do or whatever. But
Well, don't
this,
pay for it. I would send it back to them.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah. I
listens
was
to
say,
it.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's a
Go
good thing.
crack
Yeah,
it. Send it to
yeah,
them. Contact them and say this is not a Venezuelan
Now,
card.
yeah.
did you
'Cause it's not.
pay anywhere near what a Venezuelan card would be?
No, it was like I ended up paying like I paid like 500 for this.
Hmm.
That's still a lot.
It's still
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you kidding me? Like, and maybe it was like it was like 400 to 500. I forget. I have to look back, but I know it was around there. And
Because apparently, you know, with
Yeah.
PSA, like right now, ripping and flipping. I don't know if you want to highlight that. He said, Cousin Oz, with that card being mislabeled, would PSA correct it in their database? I would hope so. I would hope so because, you know, this guy could easily, obviously, he knew what he was doing, and labeling it as a slam bams because he knew it had gotten through the system
yeah,
and was labeled incorrectly, and he was, you know,
Hmm.
if I didn't like me, I didn't do my homework, and I fell for it.
yeah,
Luckily, these guys came to the rescue, PayPal. So you would hope that what I thought should have happened, it should have went right back to the PSA authenticators, and they
Same thing
should,
happened to me. Look, it has
yeah,
the eBay authentic.
yeah,
Like same thing. And
like in
this is
instances
mislabeled.
like this, like once PayPal did all the investigation and they made their decision, it should immediately go back to the authentication through eBay, and the PSA guys need to go in there and change the label or change it at least so it doesn't happen
Yeah.
again. But they had me send it directly to the seller in order to get the refund back. So I
Yeah.
don't know, you know,
Yeah.
that's just one thing. You just again buy the card, not the label. Don't always just be so quick to trust what you're seeing. You really have to,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to get into, you know, high end stuff. You know, if it's like a $5, $10 card, okay, whatever.
Right.
But once you're trying to, like, you know, build the ultimate Allen Iverson collection, and you see Philly card collector with 3 slam bams on his thing, you're like, oh, I gotta check that. Ooh, got that. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So I said same thing happened to me, and that's a good idea, Commission. Maybe I'll send it back to them because this it's clearly not the right thing.
I would
Actually, you
too.
know what? I'm gonna take this.
Right
I'll
there,
take
you
it
go.
with me,
Take
Yep.
to the national.
and you know,
You're gonna wait in line.
Yeah, I know. We'll see.
That's a
I'm gonna
national.
take it
That's a
with me,
national line.
whether I wait in line or not is a whole different story.
Yeah, that's a national, not a Philly card show line.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see about that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
What do you, Commission? You got anything there?
Yeah, I got card of the day. Like
That's
this
right.
showed up
Yeah, I
today.
saw that.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
So I posted on my IG today. It is a Upper Deck the Cup 2020. You know, maybe on hockey. My boy Sean Couturier.
Ooh.
So you can tell it's got gold foil on it, and it is an 8 of 8. Where's the bookend? 8 of
Nice.
8 jersey
Look at
patch.
Patch.
Jersey patch, 3 colors. Got
Game
a little
worn?
piece of thread coming off of it too.
It's a game
Nice.
worn
So-
patch, right?
What's that? Yes, game worn patch.
Nice.
When it's the cup, it is
yeah, the cup
highest,
is the
yeah.
ultimate.
The cup,
cup
is
is like the national
exquisite
treasure.
national treasures. Yeah. So yep, just showed up today. This is the one that I said I bought July 2nd.
Oh yeah.
And it took a while, and he got.
So are you
tied
gonna
up with
go
the
all
holiday.
Jeremy Lee on our ass and just strictly go cup?
No.
collecting?
I
Why
buy
not?
everything
Huh?
because it's too expensive.
Well, bro, sell all that crap you got and start moving up into the big
But I
boys.
love that. I love that crap. Base
I
cards
know you
matter,
love
buddy.
it. I know you. I'm not saying, you know, let me
Base
rephrase
cards
that.
matter.
Sell all those cars. It's not crap, you know. But sell all those little guys
Hey,
and then
Corky.
move into the big guys.
No. I like having.
You like
stuff
hoarding.
Like, no, it's not hoarding.
It is
It'd be
hoarding.
nice. What are you doing? You siding by my wife? What's going on here? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I get it all the time. Shit rolls
Supposed to
downhill.
be-
You know what I mean? Like,
you're supposed
I
to be
gotta find
team
somebody I can
commish.
pick on. You know, you
Team
got Tony over
commish.
here thinks he's sitting on Mount Hobby. You know, well, I have the perfect collection. I don't
No.
have any mistakes.
I just showed you one.
See, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But that's not
No, you wanted a guilty pleasure. You know, next time, all
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna get like a
And it
Fraggle
doesn't
Rock
have to
card.
be a
Just
card.
freaking,
You
like-
could, you know, you could have
It
picked
doesn't have to be a
Donatello.
card. It can be something, anything.
Could have been your little Raphael.
yeah, but that's not a guilty pleasure. The Ninja
do you
Turtles are
mean?
mainstream. That's
That's not mainstream. Yeah,
That's not. I mean, dirty. That was a dirty little secret. Like Ninja Turtles are well respected members of society.
I guess.
Like
Yeah,
they're
it's
crime fighters, man.
I
Respect
like
the
pizza. I
yeah.
like pizza.
So all right,
Like
Oz, what do you
Turtles
got?
raised by a rat. All right. So I have a card.
Hmm.
And It's a pretty famous set that's very controversial in the hobby. And it's a pretty cool card. The only thing, it doesn't have the guy that I want on it to make it real cool, but this guy's just as cool. And based upon what we were talking about with the what was it? The All-Star games that we spoke about, and how I talked about how Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan were going back and forth for the slam dunk contest. I got this, like, this was one of my very first purchases. This is the 1986 Star Court Kings, Dominique Wilkins.
Oh, nice.
And this is
human
BGS
highlight
9.
reel.
Yeah.
Yep, the highlight reel, the human highlight film. Like, this guy was unbelievable. He's very underrated.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
is. And
I remember, like, dude, we always talk about him going at it with Jordan, but him with Bird, those matchups between the Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics were ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like Bird and Dominique was just like dunking on heads. Like, he was one of the first, like, before Sean Kemp, like, this dude was just killing people.
In-game
You know, talk about posterizing.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
I even had the poster. Do you remember the posters back in the 80s that had the players? It was like the white border had their name in that, like, Bookman font just across the top, kind of to the left. And Dominique he had that slam where he was kind of shaped like
this.
Yes, he was. And he had his feet where his feet were underneath. And that poster, that slam dunk,
like his head's above the rim, like he's dunking down, and his body's like
his body looked like
it's like a 45-degree angle,
like the greater than or less than symbol.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but his body was like that poster. I had that on my wall, and the Jordan one with those same you could buy them from like Sports Illustrated or some shit
like Michael was.
Hey, there it is. Kamish finally cursed on the air. Let's go. So let me go around the horn here. Ripping and flipping. As I go to you first. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Gremlins?
Gremlins all day.
I knew you were gonna say that. Kamish.
Why?
Yeah, because you're just.
No, it's not that I'm hating on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like them, but
Gremlins was more
yeah, I'd say Gremlins for me. I'm 48. That was more my speed. Ninja Turtles came out when I was a little older.
Yeah. For me, it's the Turtles, but I mean, Gremlins.
Gizmo was so damn cute.
Yeah. No, I used to like the real bad one. He would like a smoking jacket, like
Mohawk.
He'd be like Gizmo, caca.
Yeah. And rising from the ashes, Steve Splenda is here. Says,
what up?
Splenda's here.
Nice to see Splenda here.
He's like, oops, I gotta make my appearance. Let me get on real quick, 5 minutes before they get off.
Yeah. So
don't forget, next time you're on the show, I gotta talk to you guys about that my Maris theory.
Oh yeah. We can talk about it. But Kamish, let me ask you. So you're not attending the National this year. What is has the FOMO started kicking in yet, or anything, or you're good?
No, I think I'm good with it. I mean, because I've had to pick one or the other for myself. Yeah. I'm going to miss it, but I know that last year it was kind of like the first hurrah with you guys, and I know you guys are going to be super busy, and I don't want to be coattails commish.
Bro, I think we'll be riding your coattails now. You're going to be hanging with Jeremy and Lee. We're like, yo, can we get a drink? Like, can
my two friends come too? Just asking.
Hey, everyone, this is the commish. Commish.
You're like Norm walking in the cheers.
Right? I mean, like, Jeremy Lee, like, come on. Let me show you to the inner sanctum of Mount Hobby.
No. I hope you guys, get everything you need, get everything you want. I'm a little worried you're going to be all over the place. I'm concerned for you.
You know what? I looked at the layout. Well, I looked at the layout today, and it looks like they're actually in straight rows. A little bit better.
They were in Atlantic City,
and I know, but remember the pattern was goofy. I forget. Like this one looks. I can remember we had to like go circle around the things.
Yeah, but that's to get all the sides. You're still gonna have to do that. You still have to do that.
Yeah.
You still got a loop all the way up the show.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Just to catch all the sides.
I started getting, you know what though? I started getting like dizzy after a while because like when I'm looking down like this and walking in this like just looking at the things there.
But, no, I want you. I think you guys will be good. I'm okay with it. You got a lot of social appearances. You got trade night. You got other trade nights.
We have a lunch date though, just Oz and I.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your lunch date
We're
you told
going
me about.
for
Yep, gonna be
we're going
nice.
for so we're going
Some
for some
Official
legit,
yeah.
authentic deep dish Chicago deep dish pizza.
Pizzeria Uno. Here you come, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, you know, like I told you, so it would be like Michael Scott when he went to Sbarro for authentic New York
Authentic
pizza.
Italian.
Yeah, but no,
Hey.
yeah, we're going. We're gonna go have some authentic deep dish pizza. Like I went to the same spot. It was really good. So
Well, hit me up if you know what I like. If you see that Maris, you text me. Let me know.
So
yeah,
Maris is the new Chase.
Not a new chase. I just think it's a card that's overlooked.
Underrated.
I think it's overlooked. Yeah. The dude had the home run record for what, 40, 50 some
To me,
years,
he's like
61.
to me, it's similar. Like the card that I look at that's underrated is the Willie Mays.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's not
Actually,
it's not his rookie. It's not that stuff. I just think this. But I can't decide if it's the 61 that'll be cool
yeah,
or the
61 is
62 that'll be cool. The 62 will have the stats on the back showing the home run record,
yeah, but I think it
basically,
would be 61 would be the play. Like
because
actually,
that's the year he did it. So
yeah,
yeah,
if
I just
Rob,
kind of was. I was. It probably happened because I was watching the movie 61,
I
and it
have to
kind of
ask. Yeah, I have to ask Rob like where Maris is as far as like with the more modern Yankee fans as far as like
you.
the lore of Maris.
I
You
mean,
got
I've
to
been
catch up
listening.
on these Splendor comments. They're coming hot
Yeah,
and
I
heavy.
know.
Yeah.
Splenda's making up for like 2 weeks of being
62
off. He's like
weeks.
freaking smoke coming off the his keyboard. He said
Yeah,
that we're
that's
gonna
right.
be yes, Splenda's skipping a national. Him and Commissioner going to the grungiest strip club they can find.
We're gonna go to the landing strip. It's the club right next to the airport.
There you go.
We're gonna go to that place with all the furries.
Yeah. Let me see.
No.
Spenda says the Cousins are about to buy all the KDs at the Natty, and then here's the Barry Bonds. So Barry Bonds, I saw the like his star rubies. I think it was on the or somebody just had it on one of the like one of these big auction things that now like this is whole. You see the movement now with all these like shout out to Jeremy Lee though. He does like the auction things and like all these consigners are now rolling with him and they're doing all kinds of stuff. And there was a Barry Bonds in there. I thought of you right away, Oz. I was like, man,
Yeah.
it was like I think it was like it ended up being like a $6,000 to $8,000 like
Really?
ticket. Yeah.
I actually was this close. I put one on my save search in eBay.
That's right. You were starting to maybe do a PC of
It's
him, right?
actually it's still on there. It's 1997 Flair Showcase Barry Bonds hot gloves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's a pretty cool,
Very
the
nice,
die cut
Splenda.
with the fire in the back.
Yep, yeah. Wildcard X says the 56 game hitting streak now that is now the MLB record to beat. No steroid drama. Yeah, nobody's man. It's been a while. I don't even remember the last guy that was close. I remember Tony Gwynn had a couple runs at it, but hitting 56 straight it's tough.
Jeez,
Especially
that's an underrated dude, Tony Gwynn, man. Jesus,
big time, man. Tony Gwynn is an animal. He just his son was just on Danny Torres' his podcast, and they were talking. And yeah, Tony Gwynn was beast.
I forget who it was, but it was Maddox or Smoltz. Somebody was it was on a reel, and he said between me, Maddox, and who was the other big brave? The three. He said between the three of us, we faced him over 300 and some times, and between the three of us, we had 3 strikeouts of him or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I've said this before, but I remember seeing it. I'm just like my mind was blown. I'm like, oh my God.
dude, yeah. Tony Gwynn is absolute killer. So apparently that's the card that Splenda bought.
That's great.
Is that what you got?
Yeah. Dude, I
Nice.
literally slept on it because I fell asleep, took a power nap before this thing. So
Well,
Oz's power nap.
there you go. Yeah, Oz's 11 p.m. power naps. It's like, yeah.
So Debbie said she was able to log into Fanatics Live, and the code is Mama Breaks.
Okay. Well,
she was able to log in today with it. So shout out to Dr. Debbie in the house.
We just told the 10,000 people that are going to listen to this. Now they're going to have to change the password.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn versus Paul Molitor stats. We'd have to look that. I'm not a Paul Molitor aficionado.
Yeah, Paul Molitor.
Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, I like the hat they used to rock though. The old Brewers
with the glove.
Yeah, the glove.
Like
that was
like
really
a bee.
cool. Yeah. All right, fellas. Well, I guess that's all we have for tonight. dude, we're like right there, brother. We are getting it. It's becoming a reality.
One more show
And
before the
here's the
national.
best part is by tomorrow I should be Grandpappy Oz, so that's not
Yeah.
going to have any conflicting,
Good.
with my schedule as
Right.
far as either we have a family reunion coming up, and we also then the week after we have the national. So it's all falling into place, sir. I love it
Yeah.
when a good plan comes into place.
Like that.
So
Yeah.
is you've for the fans and for the millions and millions
I
of
love the
Cousins
fans.
fans for next Thursday, you are not doing a live next week, right?
We will be
Or are you doing
well.
something?
Well, so that's
I want to do one. Tony's like trying to do it on Wednesday.
yeah. I just don't know how we do it on. We'd have to go into separate rooms, so we have to figure it out.
I told him I'd go in the bathroom. He can go on the balcony of the hotel. There won't be any kind of interference between the two of us, and we'll just. Or I told him we could do like the Jeremy Courtney, just fit ourselves into one shot on the one camera, the one phone, and go from there.
Won't you have social engagements on Thursday night next in Chicago?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we
So
do.
you guys are probably not going to be able to do one.
Yeah,
but
we have dinner plans. So
We'll
we'll
go
have to
live
see.
from dinner.
engagements.
Yeah, we can go live from dinner. Live dinner with the wolf pack.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
We'll figure it out. So maybe it'll be
maybe not.
yeah, because we still have a whole nother week. That's in 2 weeks yet. So
Oh, is it still 2 weeks?
yeah. Next week is
Oh,
still
it's
just
all
a regular.
I thought it was next week. All right.
No,
Never mind.
we still have some time. Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But yeah, worst case scenario, we go Wednesday because Thursday it's gonna be me versus Blaine in a chugging contest.
Without the commish, it's gonna get wild. Commish was reining us in with his whole life coach thing. Guys, come on. Let's stick to this. We got Grails we're chasing.
Focus
You
on the
got your
cards.
Clemente. I got my, Gretzky. Oz, you got whatever the hell you're doing. But we got to stay focused, ladies and gentlemen. Just stay focused.
Oz was on over everything. All I know, I didn't know. I would love to look for something for you, but you was like, ding, you were here. You're buying.
I got my AI
boxes and Master Universes and
Stranger
101s
Things,
and
and then I got
J
got my autos of the it Bill Russell and Dr. J.
Yeah, it's gonna be the cousin's gonna be unleashed. There's no life coach there to help us out, so we might get lost.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna give you guys those Apple tags and just clip them in both your bags.
Anyways, let's just hope that the internet works. We're able to check comps and all that good stuff.
Batman.
But so that's all I got. Oz, take us home, brother.
Listen, another banging episode. Shout out to everybody that joined us tonight. Thank you, Steve, for finally making an appearance, even though it was late as hell. We always appreciate the comments. Love everybody. And you know what? I didn't see my man, but I'm still going to give him a shout out. My man, Mr. James Lubin. We miss you, baby. With that, we're going to end this like we always do, and that is keep focused, keep positive, and keep collecting. Papa Oz out.